All right, welcome to this edition of Sales Today. Of course, we're in the class section today, and I will quickly be talking about 4 pitfalls to avoid as a sales consultant that, of course, will not make you to get your revenue effectively or optimally and sustainably. And of course, we know as salespersons, we are always wanting and ensuring that we grow revenues. We are after the bottom lines, meeting targets, and the rest. In the course of that, sometimes we get into doing some things that are unprofessional, and that really helps to affect really our bottom lines. But quickly, I'll be summarizing that into 4 pitfalls to avoid as a salesperson. Number 1 is what? Not listening. All right. On the other side, I said one of the best skills is what? Active listening. The second side is what? Non-listening. All right, which are part of the pitfalls. Invariably, when a client comes to give you an advice or give you his problems or what he wants to solve and the rest of it all, one of the things you need to listen is what does the client want? What does he really need? All right, and it is on that you tailor your offering to the client. If you feel your product cannot meet the client's needs, don't try and force or cajole the client to buy what he doesn't need. In any case, you can also refer to a person that you feel offer that product itself, and the client seeing your trust level, being able to say, oh, I may not be able to offer entirely what you want, but I can get someone that can be able to offer you what is all that you needed itself, makes the client to even trust you more and possibly come back to you for other things and even send a referrals to you. So invariably, listen to what your client is saying and don't try to assume that you know what the client is saying, or in any case, tailor-make your product to the client needs and let your product or services solve the client. Headache. Number 2 is over-promising. All right? Sometimes because we are eager to get the sales and to make a close, consultant or sales representative or even business owners tend to overpromise what they cannot deliver because they want to ensure that the client remains glued to them, the client remains sustained to them and the rest. And what happens, they promise the client heaven and earth, and invariably their product offering does not cover some of the lengths of what the sales individuals or sales team are trying to talk about in there. So please avoid overpromising the client, because in the long run it's going to bite you back, bite the organization, and of course it's going to affect your credibility as a person and that of your organization as well. Number 3 is overselling. All right. One thing is to oversell, and that thing is overpromise itself. Right? When you overselling is when you become so desperate for calls or for sales. The client can see in between your eyes that you are after the money, but not after the value or after the solution that your product or service will offer to them. And client can spot this out based on your desperation. So avoid the push or the urge of overselling, over calling the client, over follow up, talking over and over in between timing and all times, peak period of the client. You're just barging into his convenience, his privacy itself, at night, at odd hours, and the rest itself. Of course, that shows a level of desperation, and your client will not be happy about that in any case. And finally, product knowledge is so important itself that if you don't have product knowledge, which is part of the pitfalls itself, you can't really make it sell in any case. So more importantly, you must understand your product knowledge, and a client or a consultant that doesn't understand more about the product itself and at least ask or be able to give feedback on basic questions that bother on their product or services, obviously will not be able to get the best sales in that regard itself. So invariably, ensure that these pitfalls are avoided and make sure you prepare well and practice before you go for your pitch. Thank you for listening to this edition. I'm going to catch you in the next section. See you and keep selling.